sorry about that. Today we are at Chess Bhubaneswar. I am sitting at Chess Bhubaneswar with. So I just extend my hearty welcome to the head IHR today Bhubaneswar, and there are all the administrative staff, technical staff, scientific personnel are also present with us to they will also go through the session because this is a common session like people will go through for their learning or examination sense of view. At the same time, we also can learn. So we also, the people of Chess Bhubaneswar, they also will take the advantage of this online session. So with this, I welcome to Sri Janardhan T. Sir, who is presently the Senior Administrative Officer at Indian Institute of Spice Research, Kozhikode. And his qualification is he is a graduate from Calicut University, Kerala, and he joined ICR system during 1990 at CPCRI Regional Session, Bhikal, Karnataka. And he has completed 30 years of service in ICR system. And during his tenure at ICR, he has served mainly at CPCRI Kasaragod, Kerala, CPCRI Regional Session, Kahikuchi, Assam, CPCRI Regional Session, Kahikulam, Kerala, and he has promoted as administrative officer during 2017 and posted at CPCRI Kasaragod. He was having the additional charge of administrative officer of Directorate of Cashew Puttur, Karnataka for a period of 2 years. Presently, he has been working as Senior Administrative Officer at Indian Institute of Spice Research. I think he is a very good resource person in the previous occasion also. So we are also fortunate to have his session on leave rules and any other rules also. So with this, I extend my hearty welcome to Sri Janardhan T. Sir, and now he can deliver the session on your ICR agricultural scientist rule. So there some of the topic will be delivered by him. One more thing, I just want to make it clear for the participants. You don't expect he will explain in Hindi. He will explain in English only. If you are having any doubt, you please write it down in the chat box and we will clarify your doubt after the session. During the session, no question answer will be held. The question answer session or doubt clarification session will be held after the closure of the session, and you please don't expect that he will be delivering the session in Hindi because he is not familiar with Hindi. He will talk only in English. Your doubt, you can write it into the chat box. After the completion of the program, he will clarify it in the English only. So now it is over to Janardhan sir.
Sir, good evening, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, sir. Audible, but voice is little bit slow.
Is it audible, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, good evening. Good evening to all. So at the first instance, I thank Dr. Das sir for arranging such a wonderful opportunity to the candidates, those who are attending the AFAO examination. And also you can just think of the pain and effort what he has taken for arranging the faculties from all over India for giving a lecture to the candidates. So I thank you so much, sir, for arranging this training program to the candidates. So today my session is Agricultural Research Service Rules 1975. So most of the people, they are aware that we have around 5 categories under ICR service. Categories of staff: scientific, administrative, technical, supporting and auxiliary. And this auxiliary staff stand abolished during 1996 itself. So at present we have 4 categories of staff. So these 4 categories of staff, scientifics are governed under Agriculture Research Service Rules, and technical staffs are governed under Technical Service Rules. But only administration and the skilled support staff. There is no separate this one. We are following Government of India guidelines, this one. So today we will discuss about the Agricultural Research Service Rules 1975. Let me come to the session, sir. Sir, hope that screen is visible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this Agricultural Service Rules, which came into effect with effect from 1st October 1975. See, the main objective of Agricultural Research Service Rules are as follows. See, to attract, this is only a few, this one, few objectives only. Everything I have not given. You can just go through the Agricultural Research Service books. One book is available. Just a few, this one I will give here. To attract, recruit, and train the most promising graduates. And in various branches of agriculture, to induct proven talent and experience into the council by recruitment, to generate a scientific culture and opportunity, to promote teamwork and genuine professional collaboration, to enable a scientist to advance in his career while continuing to work on problems relating to a particular crop, animal, or area of agriculture study for an extended period of time, to develop an effective system of career planning, management, and achievement. So some of the main objectives of ASR service rules are here. See, there shall be the following grades in the service with the pay scale subject to revision from time to time as indicated against it. See, this is only just that pay scale what I have mentioned is just for your information. That is a 4th CPC pay scale I have given. So presently scientist, senior scientist, and principal scientist, they are the 3 categories available under this grade. Then above this one, more than that one, see the research management post. You might have heard that RMP post. So what does it mean, RMP? So research management posts are at the ICR headquarters and the institute. And these posts are filled on tenure basis and are outside the agriculture research service. See, earlier this RMP was not included in ARS service. So this this research management position as defined in the recruitment rules of higher scientific post are treated as cadre post within the ARS with effect from 30th January 1988. So they are appointed on a tenural basis, and on completion of the tenure, he returns to matching position in research work. Scientists are appointed against RMP in research management post for specific period, and they are encouraged to go back to the research thereafter. See, once RMP post, for example, a director is appointed against this RMP post, then once his tenure is completed, he will come back to his position as principal scientist, and he will be posted anywhere where the post is available. So RMP comprises the following positions: Director General, Deputy Director General, Directors of the Institute, Project Directors, Joint Directors, Assistant Directors. So these are the RMP posts available under Agriculture Research Service Rules. See, controlling authority. The president assisted by a committee known as the Committee on Agriculture Research Service shall be the controlling authority. The committee will be presided over by the Director General ICR and will in addition consist of 6 members nominated by the president. Then appointing authority. Normally you may be aware that the president ICR is a disciplinary authority by virtue of being appointing authority in respect of RMP and the scientific positions. But whereas here you can see here that since the employees has no provision for appeal against the penalty imposed by the president, the powers of disciplinary authority is delegated to DG ICR in respect of RMP post and to Secretary ICR in respect of other scientists. That means scientist to principal scientist. See here, when the president imposes a punishment, because being appointing authority and disciplinary authority, normally president ICR is imposing punishment on the scientific staff. So when the punishment is imposed, so being appointing authority and above him, there is no higher authority. So he himself has to function as the appellate authority. So for that reason, what he has given, he has delegated the powers of disciplinary authority to DG ICR in respect of RMP post and secretary ICR in respect of other scientific post. That means scientist, principal scientist and scientist disciplinary authority will be secretary ICR and RMP post disciplinary authority will be DG ICR. Then this is just for information here, agriculture research, agriculture scientist recruitment board. The Agriculture Scientist Recruitment Board ASRB was established with the approval of Cabinet on 1st November 1973 as an independent recruitment agency. The Government of India has approved the restructuring of board as per their decision in the meeting of the Union Cabinet held on 1st August 2018 and by the notification number dated 6/8/2018, ASRB has been delinked from ICR and attached with the Department of Agriculture Research and Education there under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. This just for information sake, I am sharing this one because presently that ASRB is dealing it with ICR and the facility center there. And what are the main mandate of ASRB? Recruitment to post of Agriculture Research Service in ARS, then rendering such other assistance to council in personal matters including promotion, then advising the council on disciplinary matters relating to personnel recruited through ASRB, then recruitment to entry-level scientific positions of the ARS through an all-India competitive examination, then assessment of merit promotion, etc. Then more than that, finance and accounts officer, administrative officer, combined care post appointment also, direct recruitment also, it lies with ASRB. Then here comes our next point. This one, see, earlier in ARS, the previously that our UGC pay scale was adopted in ARS, adopted in scientific service rules with effect from 1/1/1986. So see the pay scales of central government employees, central government were applicable to scientists of ARS and the incumbents of RMB prior to 1/1/86. This just you can note it. See, prior to 1/1/86, like administration, technical and service rules and scientist staff also being governed under central government pay scales. So from 1/1/86 onwards, UGC pay scale adopted by the council for scientific employees. So with effect from 1/1/86, fourth pay commission, that is central government fourth pay commission, ICR adopted the UGC pay pattern for the scientists under ARS and RMP. So this is just for information. These were the scales available at the time of 1986. You see here, previously the grades were scientist S1, scientist S2, scientist S3, and scientist S4, S5, S6. So these are the grades available prior to 1/1/1986. That means before adopting the UGC pay package. So once after that the adoption of UGC pay package, the new
sir, excuse me, sir,
Yes, sir.
Janardhan sir, excuse me.
Sir.
Sir, please go slow. Please go slow.
Okay, sir.
Please go slow.
Okay, sir. So that previously this designation was available. You just see that scientist, then scientist S2, S3, S4, and S5, S6. So these were the designations available prior to 1/1/1986. So when the UGC adopted the pay scale, government ICR has adopted the pay scale for UGC for scientific staff as per UGC pattern. So designation has also been changed for experimental scientist, scientist senior scale, scientist selection grade, senior scientist, principal scientist, and so on. And the scales also we can just reference only. Just I have given the scales. So this you can see that the career advancement. This is the most effective part of this our scientific this one career advancement scheme of effective from 1/1/86. So what does it mean? Career advancement. Career advancement means like technical. You maybe people are aware about the technical staff assessment. Same way for scientists also assessment is available. For they are being assessed under career advance scheme effect introduced during while introducing the pay scale. For example, 1986 career advance. What are the benefits available under career advance scheme effective from 1/1/86 is I have just given below. See, career advancement scheme. There is no post is required. That is also only personal to them. For example, a scientist is getting promoted to scientist senior scale. So senior scale post is not required like technical. It is purely personal to them. So what was the pay scale adopted? Sorry, career advancement scheme adopted during 1986. This is only for the information of the candidate, because these things, it may not be applicable right now because it is already over. Only thing when it applies, some court cases or some other things comes. So you have to go back to earlier cases. So that time this may be required. So that time, what is the rule, that I will just brief it. See, during 1986, the pay scale, so that scientist in the later, that is first at the entry level scientist in the pay scale of 2,200 will be placed in the scientist senior scale 3,000. That means scientist senior scale 3,000, the next grade, on following conditions. He should have completed 8 years service as scientist, then made a mark in the area of research and teaching, then and has consistently satisfactory performance appraisal result. So a person who has completed these three aspects, he will get promoted to the scientist senior scale. That is available from 1186. Then next, every scientist in the grade of 3,500 will be eligible for promotion to the post of scientist selection grade. That means senior scientist, public senior scientist, selection grade and the senior scientist. That I will tell you what is it difference. In the pay scale of 3,700 to 5,700, if he or he has completed 8 years service, from scientist to scientist senior scale 8 years. From same way, scientist senior scale to scientist selection grade or scientist senior scientist post, they have completed 8 years service in the senior scale, provided the recruitment of 8 years will be relaxed if his total service as scientist is not less than 16 years. See, a scientist to a senior scientist senior scale who has 8 years service in the senior scale can be promoted to scientist SG or senior scientist. And it will be relaxed if his total service as scientist is not less than 16 years. Then obtained a PhD degree on an equivalent published work. Then made a mark in the area of research, teaching, etc. Then and has a consistently good performance approach. So these are the 4 aspects required to be promoted to scientist selection grade or senior scientist during 1986. So here you can see here next, the scientists in the senior scale who do not have a PhD degree will be designated as scientist selection grade. So now you will come to know what is selection grade. So when a person is getting promoted from scientist senior scale to scientist selection grade or senior scientist, so he will be designated as senior scientist provided he has a PhD. If he does not have PhD degree, he will be designated as scientist selection grade. So that is the difference between scientist selection grade and senior scientist. Incentive for higher qualification. See here, incentive means consequent upon adoption of UGC pay package for the scientist of ICR, the scientist possessing PhD MPhil degree on their appointment in the grade of rupees 2,200, 4,000. That means at the entry level scientist, on or after 1186 has been allowed 3/1 advance increment. See, this advance increment, the granting of advance increment, it is always a confusion for all the staff. See, this is a 1986 scheme. So prior to 1986, there was no scheme for advance increments. So from 1986, joined after 1986, this has been replaced in 2022. But for your information, I am telling this one. See, during 1986, the scientists, those who joined with PhD, they are eligible for advance increment, 3 advance increment. And those who are joined with the MPhil, they are eligible for 1 advance increment. This has been replaced in subsequent pay commissions, but 1986, these are available. So here you can see the difference. A scientist joined with the PhD, then only he will get this increment, 3 advance increments. So this is a 86 scheme, incentive for higher education qualification, eligible for 1986 scheme. Now we'll come to the next one. So this revised pay scale adopted to 1/1/1996. So just for information, 1996, consequent on 5th CPC, this pay scale has been revised. So based on that, UGC also revised 5th CPC, central government pay scale revised. So UGC also revised their pay scales from 1/1/96. So there is no difference. 2000, 8,000, this one, that revised pay scale, just for information, I have given this one. Here you can see the pay of scientist selection grade of senior scientist with 5 years of service as on 1/1/96 will be fixed at the minimum of 14,914. This was a condition available at the time of 1/1/1996. That is the 5th CPC for central government employees. This just for information sake I have given. See, this career advancement scheme effective from 1/1/1996. See, earlier we have gone through what was the career advancement during 1/1/1986. So consequent on introduction of adoption of UGC pay pattern during 1/1/1996, the career advancement scheme of scientists also changed. See, earlier it was 8 years in the scientist to senior scale. Scientist to become scientist to senior scale, he require 8 years service.
Sir, excuse me. Sir, please slow.
Okay,
Sir,
okay.
go slow.
Okay, sir. Okay, sorry, sir.
Why people are expecting that we should cover some topic in Hindi. So we are not in a position to cover Hindi.
Okay, sir. Okay.
They will be finding difficulties. So
Okay.
better if this goes slowly.
Okay, sir.
Take 5-10 minutes more, no problem.
Okay,
You cover slowly.
Okay, sir. Because I have so many slides, that's why I am going a bit fast, sir. That's why. Okay. That is a career advancement scheme effective from 1/1/96. See, earlier I told you 1/1/1986 there was a scheme, career advancement scheme, and this has been replaced consequent on adoption of UGC pay package. That is from 1/1/1996. See, here you see the difference. A scientist with PhD would be eligible to move into the grade of scientist senior scale after 4 years. That means a scientist can be promoted to scientist senior scale if he has 4 years service with PhD, and 5 years for those with MPhil, and 6 years for others. See, earlier in 1986 scheme, from scientist to senior scale, you require minimum 8 years service. But whereas here, they have revised it from 1/1/1996. A scientist with PhD would be eligible to move into the grade of scientist senior scale after 4 years. Then, if you have MPhil degree, then you will be getting promoted after 5 years. Then if you does not have either MPhil or PhD, you will be getting promoted after 6 years of service. Then a scientist senior scale, once he becomes senior scale, you require minimum 5 years service to move into the grade of scientist SG or senior scientist. That means a scientist senior scale with minimum service of 5 years shall move into the grade of scientist. See, this is only service condition what I am telling. Other parameters they will be seeing. That means their assessment reports, their confidential reports and other work, this one, that everything they will be, that committee will be taking care of. So only that period of service, qualifying service required for promotion to the next higher grade, I am just briefing here. For movement into the grade of senior scientist, eligibility would be PhD. And those who do not possess PhD can go up to the level of scientist SG. See, a scientist with PhD will be promoted to scientist senior scale after 4 years. Then he can be promoted to senior scientist. Next. Then a senior scale after 5 years. Then a scientist without the PhD, that means he is having only MPhil degree, means he will be promoted to senior scientist, not scientist, senior scientist. He will be promoted to scientist selection grade. He can go up to scientist selection grade. if he does not have PhD. If he has PhD, then he will be promoted to senior scientist. So that is the difference. If he does not have PhD, he will be promoted to scientist selection grade. And if he has PhD, he will be promoted to senior scientist. Then you see down, a senior scientist with a minimum of 8 years of service will be eligible to move into the grade of principal scientist. That means a senior scientist with a minimum of 8 years of service. You please see here, a senior scientist with a minimum of 8 years of service will be eligible to move into the grade of principal scientist. So I think it is clear for you. As per the revised paper, that is 1986 scheme, it was scientist to scientist senior scale, it was 8 years. Then scientist to senior scale to senior scientist, it was 8 years. But whereas in 1996 scheme, it has reduced, the period has been reduced to 4 years with the PhD, 5 years with the PhD, without PhD, that means MPhil, 6 years without PhD or MPhil to be promoted to scientist to senior scale. Once you become senior scale, then minimum service you require 5 years service to become scientist SG or senior scientist. If you have PhD, then you will be designated as senior scientist. If you does not have PhD, you will be designated as scientist SG. Then for moment to the principal scientist, you should be a senior scientist with 8 years of service. Then this pay revision adopted to 1/1/1996, that the UGC pay pattern was adopted to 1/1/1996, whereas the allowance at the revised rates was given from 1/8/1997. Just for information I have given. See, incentive for higher qualification. This you see, this you will be requiring on subsequent this one. See here, earlier in 1986, we have come across 3 advanced incrementary for PhD and 1 advanced incrementary for MPhil. But this has been revised during 1/1/1996. 4 and 2 advanced incrementary will be admissible to those who hold PhD and MPhil respectively. That means if you are having PhD degree, see this PhD and MPhil, this is only applicable only at the entry level, not others, only an entry level scientist. A scientist appointed at the entry level is eligible for 4 advanced increment, provided if you have PhD at the time of joining. And 2 advanced increments will be admissible to those who hold MPhil degree at the time of recruitment of scientists. That means only, please note down that it is only at the entry level. Then 1 increment will be admissible to those scientists with MPhil degree who acquire PhD within 2 years of recruitment. See, 1 increment will be, you see here, 1 increment will be admissible to those scientists with MPhil degree who acquire PhD within 2 years of service. That means 1 advanced increment means, suppose you joined as scientist, then afterwards you acquired within 2 years of recruitment, you acquired MPhil degree. Then you are being given 1 advanced increment. Similarly, a scientist with PhD will be eligible for 2 advanced increment when he moves into the selection grade as scientist. That means that this is the available only in 1996 scheme. See, when you are promoted through career advancement scheme as senior scientist, so you are eligible for 2 advanced increments. Suppose a scientist is recruited with the PhD, then he will be getting 4 advanced increments as per 1996 scheme. Then once he become senior scientist, moving on to senior scientist grade through assessment, then again you have to give 2 advanced increments when he moves into the selection grade as senior scientist. Then another thing, a scientist will be eligible for 2 advanced increments as and when he acquires a PhD degree in his service career. See, for example, a scientist joined without PhD. Subsequently, after either study leave or by this one, he will be acquiring PhD degree. So once he acquire PhD degree, he is eligible for 2 advance agreements. This is the difference here. See, a scientist who joined with PhD, he is eligible for 4 advance agreements. And a scientist who joins without PhD and subsequently he acquires PhD, then in his service career, then his PhD is eligible for 2 advance agreement for acquiring PhD degree. And this is effective from 27/7/1998. And this has been changed, that subsequently I will tell. That was the scheme available from 1/1/1996. I hope you are clear for advance agreements. Scientist with the PhD for at the initial stage, and if he is acquiring afterwards during service, 2 advance agreements. Similarly, for an MPhil, with the MPhil you are joining 2, and if you are after you are acquiring MPhil, once you join service, then you are eligible for 1. Then once you are going on to senior scientist, moving on to senior scientist through assessment, then you are eligible for 2 advance agreements. So these are the incentive available during 1996 scheme. So this many of the institute people may be requiring this information, because recently one case has come up that I will tell in the last. So this is pay scale applicable during 2006. Just it is a pay band has come. Pay band, that means grade pay has come during 2006. This you can see here, scientist 6,000. Scientist is pay level 10. That is a present pay level. Earlier it was pay level is not there, only grade pay. 6,000, 7,000, then 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. So these are the grades available for. This is just for information. Pay scale I am sharing with you just for information. This is already available in the pay revision pattern, and most of the people are also aware of it. This pay scale, you see the difference here. UGC pay pattern, it was 6,000, but whereas in central government for us it was 5,400. Then it was 6,600. Then another one was 8,000, 7,600. So here it is 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. So these are the scales available during 2006. Pay scale adopted by ICR by following UGC pay pattern. This is career advancement scheme available 1/1/2009. This also you see every pay scale adopting this career advancement also getting revised. This is available from 1/1/2009, effective from 1/1/2009. Though that this was adopted from 1/1/2006, pay scale adopted from 1/1/2006. This their career advancement scheme was effective from 1/1/2009. You see here the difference. The same way, last 1/1/2009, 1/1/96 also, the career advancement we have seen. See here, a scientist with completed service of 4 years, possessing PhD in the field shall be eligible for RGPO for 7,000. This 7,000 means earlier I told you that is scientist senior scale. But whereas here they will be known as with grade pay. This is effective from 1/1/2009. That means a scientist with the completed service of 4 years is eligible for 7,000. then a scientist possessing MPhil or other professional PG qualification will be eligible to 7,000 grade pay after 5 years. Then if a scientist does not have either PhD or MPhil, shall be eligible to senior scale, that means 7,000 grade pay, 6 years of service. So they will be designated as scientist only, not scientist senior scale or anything. It will be designated as scientist. Even if you are having this one and 7,000 grade pay, earlier it was scientist senior scale, but here it is scientist. They will be designated as scientist alone. So there was no difference between 1996 scheme and the 2000 scheme for this scientist grade, because earlier also scientist with PhD, after 4 years he will get promoted to scientist senior scale. Here same way, scientist with 4 years with PhD, after 4 years it will be placed to 7,000. Then MPhil, if you have MPhil, then you will get promoted after 5 years. Then if you does not have any MPhil or PhD, then you will be getting promoted after 6 years only. Similarly, a scientist with the completed service of 5 years in RGP 7,000 shall be eligible to 8,000. See here you can see the difference. Earlier, from scientist to scientist senior scale, then directly they are going to senior scientist in 1996 scheme. Here you see one more grade has come in between. See 8,000 grade has come. That also will be designated, that also comes under senior scientist. Provided if you have PhD, you will be designated as senior scientist. See, as scientist with the completed 5-year service in the 7,000. This 7,000 grade is earlier our scientist senior scale, but now that designation is not available. So when you become 7,000 grade, you will move to 8,000 grade after 5 years. And if you have PhD degree, you will be designated as senior scientist. If you does not have senior scientist with 8,000 grade pay, and if you does not have PhD degree, you will be designated as scientist with 8,000 grade pay. Then a scientist on completion of 3 years service in the RGP 8,000 and possessing PhD shall be eligible to move up to 9,000 and shall be designated as senior scientist. And those who does not have PhD, they will move to 9,000 grade, but still they will be designated as scientist only. Here you see the difference. Even 9,000 grade pay, you will be designated as scientist only. Earlier it was scientist SG, now it is only scientist. Since you does not have PhD, you will be designated as senior scientist as and when you acquire PhD. Otherwise, you will remain as scientist. Then you see here down, a senior scientist on completion of 3 years of service in the RGP of rupees 9,000 and possessing PhD will be eligible to move on to principal scientist. So compared to 1996 scheme, here 4 pattern has come. 6,000 to 7,000, 7,000 to 8,000, 8,000 to 9,000, 9,000 to 10,000. Earlier, it was only scientist to scientist senior scale, scientist to senior scale to senior scientist, then principal scientist, only 4. Here you see 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. So these are the 4 grades available with effect from 1/1/2009. Hope you are clear. This is incentive for higher qualification. See, you have come across already. In 1986 scheme, you have seen 3 advanced increment for PhD. 1996, you have seen 4 advanced increment for PhD. Then in 2006 scheme, it has come that is effective from 1/9/2008. 5 non-compounded advance increment shall be given at the time of recruitment on or after 1/9/2008. Please see the date. It is effective from 1/9/2008 on or after 1/9/2008. That means a scientist who is appointed after 1/9/2008, he will be getting 5 non-compounded advance increment. And one more thing for your information, this is the advance increment granted is, it will be taken into all purposes. Pay fixation, every purposes this advance increment is counted. Not like a technical advance increment presently, what is available. Presently, technical advance increment, it will not count, it will be kept separately. But whereas this scientific advance increment, this will be counted for all purposes. It will be part and parcel of pay. So here you can see 1/9/2008 onwards, they will be getting 5 non-compounded advance increments. Once you become scientist, that means once you are recruited as scientist with PhD, you are eligible for 5 non-compounded advance increments. Candidates who hold MPhil, same way. Earlier I told you, with MPhil, at the time of recruitment after 1/9 shall be eligible for 2 non-compoundable advance increment. This is the same way what is 1996 scheme available, same thing only. Here only the difference, the 4 became 5 here. Then here another difference it comes. One more hike it has come in 2008 scheme. A scientist shall be given 3 advance increments as and when he acquires PhD degree during his service after 1/9/2008. See, earlier 1996 scheme, it was only 2 advance increments. In 2008 scheme, it has come to 3 advance increments. That is, those who are recruited after 1/9/2008. Then a scientist shall be given 1 advance increment as and when he acquires MPhil degree, 1/9/2008. So that means when he becomes, once he becomes scientist, see, this you have to remember, the one thing you have to remember, these advanced increments are available only for the entry level scientist, not other scientists, either senior scale. Once you become senior scale, then you are not eligible for that advanced increment. But PhD increment, you are eligible. For getting PhD increment during his service, you are eligible. A scientist shall be given 1 advance increment as and when he acquires MPhil degree during his service after 1/9/2008, provided such post graduation is not a mandatory requirement at the entry level recruitment. That you have to take care. So I hope you are clear of this advance increment. So advance increment is only up to 1/9/2008 alone, up to this period alone, this is available. So afterwards, there was no advance increment, that I will tell subsequently. So only 3 pay packages. 1986, there was advance increment. In 1996, there was advance increment. In 2008 also, there was advance increment. This is 2016 pay scale, just for information. Thus, grade pay has been replaced with pay level. Pay level 10, 11, 12, 13A, 14. Then director norm fixed. That is just for information, for your sake. See, here you see the difference. This you have to know. Incentive for higher qualification. See, once government adopted pay package from 1/1/2016, UGC pay scale has adopted. And it is a government of pay package, UGC pay package adopted by ICR. So there, this part is withdrawn. That means incentive, giving advance increment to scientists at the time of recruitment, that is 4, 3, 2 and all, that is withdrawn during 2016 onwards. What was the condition? The incentive structure is built in the pay structure itself, wherein those having MPhil or PhD degree or other higher qualification will progress faster under CAS. Therefore, there shall be no incentives in the form of advance increment for obtaining the degrees of MPhil or PhD or other higher qualifications. See, a person who obtained PhD as on 31/12/2015, he will be getting advanced increment, 5 advanced increment for entry-level scientist. But a person who joined on 1/1/2016, he is not eligible for any advanced increment. That advanced increment portion is withdrawn with effect from 1/1/2016. So that makes a difference. Now, the present system, there was no advanced increment concept. This is for direct recruitment. So advanced recruitment part is over. Now I will come to the direct recruitment portion. But see, direct recruitment, what is the basic qualification eligible? For this, just for information, this one. So entry level scientist, you require PhD. Then senior scientist also, you require doctoral degree in the relevant subject, including relevant 8 years experience. So once you become as a direct recruitment senior scientist, you require this minimum qualification. Just for information, I am sharing this slide. So age limit also you can see. For I am talking about this one, direct recruitment of entry level scientist. A candidate seeking admission to ARS examination must have attained the age of 21 years, but not have attained the age of 35 years. For in-service ICR candidates, maximum age limit is 45 years. And for in-service candidate, agricultural universities, 38 years. The number of attempts. The number of attempts for appearing ARS examination will be limited to 6. And for UR and EWS categories, including in-service candidates, and 9 in respect of OBC and PWD. And this restriction will not apply to SC, SC or ST candidates. That is number of attempts. When the reservation part, only at the entry level scientist. That means when you are recruited as scientist, only reservation is applicable only at the level of entry level. So above senior scientist or principal scientist, that reservation part is not applicable. Just for information, I am sharing. Probation, candidates appointed to the service on direct recruitment shall be on probation for a period of 2 years. So like other staff, others also, that concerned scientists should be on probation for a period of 2 years. Then for entry level scientist, training is mandatory. The selected training scientist shall mandatory attend a foundation course at on agriculture research, 4 course training, foundation course on agriculture research, 4 course training at NAM Hyderabad 3 months, followed by orientation training and professional attachment training in the research area at the leading institutions. So this is mandatory for the entry level scientists, those who are directly recruited. Then execution of bond. See, once you become scientist, directly recruited scientist, under Rule 13.2 of ARS Rules, a candidate recruited through ARS is to execute a bond. Presently, I think 1,25,000 to serve the council for a minimum period of 4 years after successfully completing the training course. Failure to serve the council will render the candidate liable to refund the amount together with interest thereon from the date of demand at the government rate in force. That means once you become scientist, you have to execute a bond on behalf of ICR. And if you are vacating the post or resigning the post, you are supposed to repay the bond amount. Now we will come to the assessment. I told you what is assessment procedure. See, assessment for like a technical assessment, these scientists are also available for assessment. From I told you earlier that we have discussed earlier that assessment criteria, 4 years, 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, like that. So assessment, I will just brief what is a part of the procedure. See, ASRB shall be conducting assessment and placement of scientists from research grade pay from 9,000 to 10,000. That means present one 13A to 14. Present level 13A to 14. Up to 9,000 grade pay. That means up to 13A institute is conducting only, and assessment of all other cases shall be initiated and processed as per existing instructions at the respective institutes. The proceedings along with all relevant documents shall be forwarded to council headquarters for obtaining the approval and acceptance of the competent authority in the council. So once assessment is over, you need to send the proceedings to council for getting approval. See, from 1/1/2009 onwards, these are the assessment criteria. See, most of the people may not be aware how a scientist is getting promoted through assessment. Only concerned people with scientists, they may be aware it because they are only filling the assessment pro forma, but administrative staff, only those who are dealing with the personal section, only aware of what is the criteria being adopted for assessment. You see here, assessment period 4, 5, 6. You see what is it? 4, 5, 6 with the PhD, with the MPhil, without the PhD. 6 years. Then 5 years from there to next grade. Then 3 years from 7,000 to 8,000. Then another 3 years from 8,000 to 9,000. That means here pay level 10, 11, 12, 13A. Pay level 14, that is from pay level 13A, that is RGP 9,000 to 10,000 grade pay. That is pay level 14. That will be taken up by the ASRB. So remaining up to 9,000. That means this up to here, institute is taking up. So how their marks they will be getting? You just go through this one. See, for core activities, they are getting RGP 6,000 to 7,000. 84% mark. 84 marks out of 100. 84 marks for the research work. And 16 marks for annual assessment report. See, you can see here the difference. Most of the people may not be aware of it. See, RGP 6,000 to 7,000. Marks are 84, 16. But whereas when you go to 8,000 grade pay, that is senior scientist post, for level 12 and above, you require 68. You are getting, you will get only 68 mark for your assessment. This core activities means your research, your publications, your peer recognition, your extension activities, all those cases separate marks are given. And those marks will be counted together and you have to get 68. That is 68 is a total marks of 68. So here 12 mark for annual assessment for AGP, RGP 8,000 and 9,000. You see here, you see the difference. 16 for 6,5 for that 6,000 annual assessment is report is getting 16 marks. For others, 12 mark annual assessment. And interview, you see here 20 marks for interview. So from 8,000 to 9,000, interview is available. And 9,000 to 10,000 also interview is available. That will be conducted at ICR, that ASRB. So interview they are giving 20 marks. But whereas 7,000 to 6,000, there is no interview. Personal interview is not there. And 3,000, 8,000 and 9,000 personal interview is there. For 8 that they will be getting 20 marks out of it. So total 100 marks. So these are the percentage, that is mark criteria for adoption of assessment. Then you will see the next. The minimum marks required for to be promoted to the next higher grade. See, I have told you total 100 marks in various capacities. That means your core activities, your assessment report, your interview, total you require 100 marks. Out of 100, to get promoted to others next grade, you require minimum 75% mark. This is the criteria adopted by assessment committee. Once you get to 75 marks, then only you will get promoted to next stage of next promotion. That means throughout, either 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, everywhere you should get to 75%. That either in the core activities or assessment or interview, total marks, 75%. Then here you see the difference. Another one more aspect you can see. A deferred place at each stage of evaluation has been approved for such of those scientists who fall short of cutoff marks by not more than 2 marks. Such scientists will not be required to submit to fresh assessment forms and will stand promoted to the next grade pay after 1 year from the due date of assessment. See, a scientist, if he is getting 73 marks, then DPC himself, DPC themselves will promote them after 1 year. They will promote, see, if you are less with the 2 marks, you will get promoted after 1 year. That means your recommendation, they will recommend accordingly. That means they will recommend you after 1 year. And if it is falling short, however, those scientists whose scores fall short by more than 2 marks will have to submit their assessment form evaluation after 2 years from the date of first evaluation. See, a person is getting 70 marks total. Then he has to wait for his next promotion. 2 years he has to wait. Earlier it was done yearly. Whereas this from 11/19, 2019, 2009 onwards, you have to wait 2 years if you are falls short of 2 marks. So this just criteria you can just for information I am sharing. Then here you see a scientist with RGP 7000 shall be eligible subject to other requirement to move up to 8000 and can be designated. This is already I told you. A scientist can be promoted to 8000 grade pay and he will be designated as senior scientist, provided he has PhD degree. Otherwise, he will be known as scientist. He will be termed as scientist. And if he is having PhD degree, then he will be designated as 8000 senior scientist, even in 8000 grade. That means in grade 12, at present pay level 12 itself, they will be designated as senior scientist if they have PhD degree. From the date they become PhD degree, or they will be designated simply as scientist with 9000, with 8000. See, these are the selection committee composition from 6000, 7000, 8000 and 9000. All these up to 9000 assessment committee will be done at the institute level. You see what are the committee constitution. Chairman to be nominated by the ASRB. We have to send a proposal to ASRB for nominating the chairman. Then 2 experts to be nominated by DG ICR from outside the institute member. Then DDG concerned with the institute or his nominee as a member. Then director of the institute as a member. So this is the committee composition for assessment purpose at the institute level. So the quorum of the committee shall be 4 with at least 1 outside expert. You see here 2 experts are required. So to fulfill the quorum, you require at least 1 expert. So these are the composition of committee at the institute level. So this is RGP 9000 to 10,000. You see here the difference. Chairman ASRB or member ASRB is a chairman. Then DG ICR or his nominee as the member. That means senior scientist to principal scientist. Present level 13A to 14. You require your assessment will be taken up at ASRB level, and the composition of committee will be like this. 3 experts, out of which at least 1 from ICR institute. Other than institute to which the concerned institute senior scientist belongs. That means 3 experts are required. In that, 1 should be from ICR institute, not from the same institute where that employee comes from. Then director for his nominee of the institute as a member. ADG, if it is at ICR headquarters scientist, then ADG will be the nominee. ADG will be the member of, instead of director, ADG will be the member. Here also same way, the quorum will be, shall be 4. At least 2 experts. At institute, it was 1 expert. At the council for assessment to principal scientist, it must be 2 outside experts, mandatory. The nomenclature of this also, you have to see this. See, earlier, every pupil we are telling that DPC, DPC, DPC. See, this nomenclature has been changed. The nomenclature of the committee, considering the promotion cases under CAS, is assessment committee for CAS and not DPC. This you please note it down. You cannot say that it is not a DPC because people used to say that DPC. But this career advancement, it is assessment committee for CAS, not DC. When you are putting up a note to the committee, you have to spell like this: assessment committee for CAS and not DPC. Similarly, Nomenclature of the committee considering clearance of probation and confirmation. Cases of scientist is Committee for Clearance of Probation and Confirmation and don't DPC. Just for information. So this you can note down because not DPC, it should be renamed as Assessment Committee for CAS and the Committee for Clearance of Probation and Confirmation. See, once you you receive that recommendation, then you have to send the recommendation to the council through e-office only. You can't send the physical file now. It has been changed. You have to send the recommendation to e-office to the concerned deputy secretary or director personnel. While forwarding the recommendation, the following documents are mandatory. Assessment, everybody, every person concerned with should be aware of this. Forwarding letter under the signature of the director or head of administration. Statement checklist showing particulars of scientist in the prescribed format. Then self-contained note placed before the assessment committee. Copy of MSc, MPhil, PhD certificates. Copy of nomination letters of members of assessment committee by ASRB. Proceedings, recommendations of the committee, discipline wise, grade wise, detailed scorecards in the prescribed format. So these formats, these documents are required while forwarding the recommendation of assessment committee to council. The sites, then this is for another information. The scientists who are permitted to attend conferences, seminars, symposiums, etc. within the country, with the approval of the competent authority, may be treated as an official duty for all purposes. They are eligible for special casual leave subject to a maximum of 10 days in a calendar year. That is, a scientist who are permitted to attend the conferences can be allotted, can be given special casual leave maximum of 10 days in a calendar year. This is, see, under ARS also that study leave it is there. I think study leave, it is already, I think leave rules, they will be in detail, they will tell, but still for information, I am sharing this CD because it is coming only scientists are eligible for ARS study leave and it is extended to technical service, technical person also for having PhD degree. For doing PhD alone, technical service are technical staff are allotted to be given under ARS service study rules 1991. Technical service also eligible only for doing PhD. And this scientist, you see the eligibility. This I will just go through it because you will be getting detailed idea when the leave rules are given. Somebody else will be taking leave rules, so they will give you a clear picture about this one. Eligibility granted to a permanent whole-time scientist with not less than 2 years of service to pursue a special line of study or research including network, PhD. For doing PhD eligibility, I will just tell for eligibility a scientist is eligible. So principal scientists are not eligible for study leave. So what is the duration? Maximum 3 years for PhD purpose. Maximum 2 years for other courses other than PhD. That means MSc or BSc, whatever it may be. Then study leave can be granted more than once, provided that unless both spells are required for PhD. You can give him PhD more than this one and not less than 5 years have elapsed after completion of earlier spell of study leave. Then the course of study or program of research cannot be altered. Once the program is fixed, you cannot alter it. Then study leave granted shall be deemed to be cancelled if it is not availed within 6 months. Then you have to give an undertaking that he shall serve the organization maximum of 3 years. So these are the conditions for grant of study leave. So these are the certain clarifications issued. This you have to note down. See rule earlier 4.1. Study leave shall not be granted more than 3 years in one spell. See, study leave maximum you can grant him 3 years. And if you wanted to give extension for even for 1 day, yes, study leave, it has to be sent to ICR because DG ICR is satisfied such extension is unavoidable. That is for more than 3 years. If you wanted to extend the study leave more than 3 years, even maximum is 5 years, and even for 1 day, if you wanted to extend, it has to be approved by the DGICR, not at the level of director. Then study leave may not be granted more than twice during a career. However, under no circumstances, maximum period of, these are the clarifications received. Then subject to a maximum period of absence from duty. This clarification you can just note down. See, subject to a maximum period of absence from duty on leave not exceeding 3 years, study leave may be combined with earned leave, half-pay leave, or extraordinary leave. See, earlier you can see, once study leave is over, they are eligible for only extraordinary leave. So this condition has been replaced now, so they can avail half-pay leave, eligible earned leave, or extraordinary leave. So these are the clarifications issued on study leave. This is ICR sabbatical leave. This is granted to scientist senior. Because time is getting late, I will just brief it. Sabbatical leave rules, you will be knowing detail in during leave rules, but for information I am sharing you. Sabbatical leave shall be granted to enable the academic or scientific personnel to enhance the at this one. See, here you see the eligibility. Scientist 11 and above. That means scientist earlier, scientist senior scale. Now eligibility is 11 and above with the minimum 6 years of regular service in ICR. The scientist on deputation with other organization and he has not completed 2 years service in ICR after deputation is not eligible. You see the condition. This condition they have to satisfy. Scientist must have 5 years service left before superannuation, vigilance clearance mandatory, bond he has to execute, confidentiality, non-disclosure agreement they have to take, undertaking with regard to adherence of CCS conduct rules. That is regarding this month, this condition, these last three conditions has come just 3 days back. Salient features of this leave, maximum 2 occasions, 1 year maximum on 2 occasions, gap between 5 years. Once you granted study sabbatical leave, you will get it after 5 years only. Then availed study leave sabbatical will be granted after gap of 5 years. Okay. During sabbatical leave, eligible leave on medical facilities. They are eligible for eligible leave during sabbatical. Then any scholarship can be availed during that sabbatical leave. Cannot be combined with any other kind of leave. This sabbatical leave you can't combine with any other leave. Then he has to report back within 2 weeks from the date of expiry. On completion, he can be posted in a unit of any unit of ICR system. Once a scientist is given sabbatical, granted the sabbatical leave, while come back, he can be posted by ICR any institute. Pay and allowances eligible for full pay except transport allowance. Then competent authority DGICR. Then in certain cases, it has to go to the committee for the purpose. The one committee is available for this sabbatical leave. So that the committee has to certify, approve it. In certain many of major cases, DGICR. Then on completion, they have to submit a detailed report. This is a transfer of ARS scientist. See, you may be, this is just for information. Transfer, what are the guidelines? Transfer on 2 conditions, administrative reasons and on request. DG can transfer on administrative grounds on the recommendation of the headquarter transfer committee. Headquarter separated transfer committee is there. They can transfer any scientist on administrative ground. Then scientist can apply for transfer on through online transfer module, which will be operational twice a year. Then a request from different PW, HD, physically handicapped persons can at the initial posting itself, they will get preference of posting at the time of initial posting itself. Then a retention period, a scientist can apply for transfer after completion of minimum retention period of 5 years for category A stations and 3 years for category B stations. A station means remote villages. Non-remote stations, 3 B stations means remote stations. There they have to serve 3 years. Any period spent on study leave shall be excluded from this. Then relaxation, working spouse ground, medical cases, mutual transfers. And these 3 conditions, this retention period is relaxable. Working period, that 5 years condition is not there. The same way medical cases also not there. Mutual transfers cases also not there. Then marks for transfer applications. So they will be assessed separate marks they are given, competent authority for mutual, then medical cases, then annual assessment report. In that separate marks are there. So the applicants scoring more marks shall get the preference in descending order over the applicants. Transfer committee. There shall be a headquarter transfer committee under the chairmanship of DGICR to process the inter-institution transfer. Then a separate transfer committee is required to constitute at the institute level to consider the inter-institutional transfer of ARS scientists. See, earlier I told you that those are the details about ARS this one. This is advanced increment clarification. This you have to see because many institutes now they are facing one or two other issues regarding granting of advance increment. So certain clarifications I will tell you. 1986, I have already told you what are the eligibility of scientist that advance increment. The 1996 scheme 4 and 2 advance increment. 1 advance increment will be. This is all everything I explained. Then 2000 scheme also I already explained. 5 non-compounded, 2 non-compounded, 3 advance increment. This already I explained. So here in 2000 scheme, we have already told you no increment benefit on acquiring PhD. See, here it makes the difference. Based on the Honorable Supreme Court judgment, Dr. B. Shashikumar and others. This you can take note on it. This is a very critical issue. In the sense, based on this, many institutes, I have seen many orders in a different way. They interpreted in a different way and they issued orders that subsequently they have to recover those things. I come across many orders. See, this based on this 2022 Honorable Supreme Court judgment, I will just give a brief about what is the this one, what has happened in 2022 and why, what was the earlier. See, earlier we have discussed so many things about advancing agreements. But whereas in 2022, a scheme has come in the sense, council, there was a, I will just brief on this one because time is already late. I will just what is concerned with the Supreme Court judgment, what is actually happened. See, one Dr. B. Shashikumar, he joined in service in 24/4/1985 with the PhD. But in 1986 scheme, only those who joined with the PhD after 1186 only eligible for advance agreement. So he was not granted the advance agreement. Same way, he moved on to senior scientist. That time also he was not given any advance agreement. Then he went to court. Then court said, CAT said that, CAT delivered a judgment stating that he should be granted 4 advance scheme. That means the scheme available during 1999. That scheme he should be extended. That the benefit of that scheme should be extended to Dr. B. Shashikumar. That means 4 advance agreement. That is when it is to be extended at the time of joining, not from after 1186. See, earlier we learned that advance agreement is permissible only from 1186. But in 2022 judgment, what they told, they are eligible for advance agreement from the date of becoming, from the date they joined. Suppose a person joined in 1974, then you have to grant him 4 advance agreements at the time of recruitment. That means at the 4 advance agreement, the sense 40 rupees. Suppose in that time pay scale is 40 rupees. 4 into 40, 160 rupees. Then that you have to give from the date of appointment. So earlier, you see, earlier it was 1186 onwards alone. From the date you joined after 86. But now this is applicable those who joined prior to 1186. And 2 advance agreement from the date on which he moves on to senior scientist. This also, there is a major difference here. See, earlier, the benefit was granted with effect from 27/7/1998. But now, based on this Supreme Court judgment, you have to grant him from the date he became senior scientist. Suppose a person has become senior scientist with effect from 10/4/1997, then you have to grant him PhD increment, that means 2 advance increment with effect from 10/4/97 itself. But earlier the benefit was granted only from 27/7/98. So that makes the difference here based on this judgment. That is why I told you the recent development you have to, because many institute, I think some of the institute, they are not fixed this pay at all because of this confusion. So a person joined in 73, you have to give him 4 advance with the PhD, you have to give him 4 advance increment. And if he takes PhD afterwards, from the date, moves on to senior scientist with on CAS, career advancement, then from the date of he becomes a senior scientist. So this is the difference what has happened in 2022. Hope it is clear now, sir. That's all from my side, sir. Das sir.
Sir, you please go through the clarification through the chat box. Some people, some candidates have asked clarification through chat box. You please see, sir, whether any answer, any question is there. Is it visible to you?
No, sir.
Chat box. Oh, otherwise, let me read it out, sir. No problem.
Yeah,
I can read.
you can just tell, sir.
Sir, first is HRA is admissible in sabbatical leave or not?
Sir, sabbatical leave, HRA is admissible. Only TA is not admissible. It is already
Okay.
clarified.
Effect of study leave on length of service. Means
Sir?
the candidates wants to know if study leave is granted,
Yeah.
whether that leave period will be counted in the service period or not.
Sir, it will be counted. It will be counted even for assessment purpose. It will be counted. Even assessment also, council once clarified that, see, suppose you are not having any CR due to study leave, so they can take that CR in the previous occasions. That means, suppose you have 10 years service, only 4 years required, means in that 4 years, 3 years service or study leave means they have to take preceding years CR, study leave.
Okay.
The study leave will be counted for all purposes.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question. After there were 5 advance increment granted to scientists on possessing PhD degree, which were non-compoundable and placed separately with the basic pay at the time of recruitment.
No, sir, that is totally wrong, sir. It is a part and parcel of basic pay and it is counted for all purposes. If they are shown separately, means it is totally wrong, sir.
Okay. Whether technical staff is eligible for doing MSc? If so, what is qualification? Whether it is agriculture related or any MSc?
Sir, technical service rules, technical service, they are granted the study leave only for PhD purpose under ARS study leave rules. So if they wanted to take MSc in the relevant subject concerned what they are doing at the present, this one, the discipline, they will be granted study leave for 2 years. That is under CCS study leave 1972, not under ARS study leave rules.
Okay, sir. Sir, difference between study leave and sabbatical leave in summary.
Sir, that study leave is granted for PhD purpose. For doing PhD, and this sabbatical leave, I have already told you that is for study purpose itself. That maximum is 1 year.
Okay, sir. Then one more question. Many retired scientists are aggrieved for not extending benefit to them and contemplating to move to CAT and quote for grant of increment based on the Sasikumar case.
Sir,
Is
Shashi,
it admissible and feasible?
sir, it is admissible to all the scientists, those who retired. See, suppose, for example, I will tell you, a scientist joined in 1973 or 1975 or 1985. That means prior to 1/1/1986. So he has not been granted any advance increment with the PhD, since he was possessing PhD at the time of joining. But
Okay.
he did not granted advance increment. But whereas this Shashimar's case, now he is eligible for advance increment from the date of joining.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question. If a scientist joined before 1st January 1986 without PhD and
Yeah.
acquired PhD during service, how
Yeah.
advance increment will be granted?
Sir, that advance increment already I told you, 1986 to 96, one scheme is available. Then 96 to 2006, another scheme is there. That is 1986, there was no such a scheme. But whereas 96, two advance increment for acquiring PhD. Then 2006, after 19/2018, three advance increment. It is available in the this one, sir.
Okay, okay, sir. Sir, advance increment counted for all purposes, but still these were non-compatible. How they will be merged with the basic pay?
Sir, it is non-compatible. It is a basic. UGC themselves have clarified that even I have that letter also. It is countable. It is a part and parcel of basic pay for all purposes. Council has issued guidelines on that aspect, sir.
Okay. Can study leave be granted for postdoc after PhD? As PhD is now qualification for direct recruitment ARS. Means he is telling whether can study leave can be granted for postdoc. Means after PhD. I think
that has to be clarified, sir.
Yeah. What is the difference between CCA study leave rule or ARS study leave? Is there any difference?
Yeah, we say difference is there, sir. Sir, ARS study leave rules earlier, say increment itself one different, maximum that difference. See, ARS study leave rules, increment is granted as and when due, and you are eligible for monetary benefit also. Increment. So this CCS study leave rules, you will get the increment benefit only after you join back, after the study leave. So earlier, at the initial stage, even council also, that benefit was not extended. But subsequently, order has come that they are eligible for increment benefit with the monetary benefit. That is a major difference between CCS leave rules 1972, CCS study leave rules 1972, and CCS study leave rules 1991. Sorry, ARS study leave rules 1991.
Yes, sir. Sir, what is non-compounded advance increment?
So non-compoundable advance increment means it will be that term that they have already clarified, sir. I have that copy of that letter. Presently, I can't tell that one, sir. I have that. I will share to you, sir. Non-compoundable. It is a non-compoundable means it is counted. That means 3 advance increment you are not calculating. For example, if 3 advance increment means if it is 300 means 300 into 3, 900.
Okay, sir.
Got it,
Okay.
sir. But not 300 plus again, it will not compound for another this one. Only 300 into 3, 300 into 5, or 3000 into 5, like that, sir. It will not be compounded.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for your very detailed, illuminating, and mind-blowing presentation. I think really some people are facing difficulties in English that we also understand,
Yes,
but
sir.
we are also helpless to some extent.
Yes,
We will clarify. That is why we have obtained your question through chat box, and we have tried to clarify it as maximum as possible. Okay. So
yes.
if still something is there, you
Sir,
please write it to us.
Yes, sir. They can send me. You can share my mail ID.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Definitely, I will clarify it, sir.
Yes, to them. So if something they are facing problem, again for the candidates, this session is particularly for appearing the examination. Okay, we are preparing this session for particularly appearing the examination. Okay, people are facing practical problem that we do understand. So your resource person has clarified many doubt thinking that also. But you just considered your examination thinking that you appear, you used to go on studying. If at all you are facing any problem, any doubt, you are free to write us. Yeah, I will share the mail ID of Janardhan sir. You can very means liberally you can write and we will certainly will clarify you. Now I think this session, today's session, we are going to close it. Thank you. Thank you very much for your very detailed and informative presentation. I think actually it is a very, means if smoothly we will conduct this session, it will take 2 hours, I can tell.
Minimum it
Because
requires,
so many informations are there. So thank you very much, sir. And thank you again here from the head chess, IHR chess Bangalore. This regional station of IHR here, it is at Bhubaneswar. Thank you, the head chess arranging logistic support here for us, and all their staff also, they are also sitting together. They have also enjoyed the session. Thank you very much. Thank you, the participant. Now, today's session, we are closing. Thank you all. We will share the PPT to the Google group and to the WhatsApp group. Thank you.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.